come on and look at the BLM land that he leases on his ranch. And so, a number of the sites that we found have been found by people other than the members of our crew. There have been people that work with us. I don't know if you went to Bruce's site yesterday, and Bruce is Bruce Wake. He is a school teacher, a 6th grade school teacher from the St. Louis area, former principal, etc. I did not connect with him through the dig, but just independently met him, and he and his wife like to come and look for fossils, and they linked up with us. They prospect around and find things and tell us about it, and then we go and see if it's worth collecting. Likewise, Les has caught a bit of a bug himself, and he has gone on foot sometimes, but mostly, as you saw, he likes his little plane. So he flies through here doing ranching type activities, looking for coyotes, looking for his cattle, etc., checking on water and so on. But he also flies low enough, as you notice, that he goes to the hillsides. In this particular case, in 2019, he had flown through here and seen something and wanted me to come and check it out. So in 2019, he took me down here, and this hillside broken bone, some of which didn't look terribly clear to me, but there was a brow horn that was sticking out, pieces of other brow horn material that were crumbling and falling down this hillside. And on closer inspection, what it looked like was disarticulated bones of the skull. Disarticulated meaning not in their original position, but separated from one another and put in different orientations. And I could see the frill going into the hillside.
Wow.
So at that point, we didn't have a terrible amount of time to excavate. We didn't have the dedicated crew to excavate, and we hoped to do it in 2020, but of course we weren't able to do that. So I arranged to have a crew from the Burke Museum come out. So in 2019, we collected the pieces that seemed most vulnerable to the weather, fortunately. We covered what was exposed. But in 2021, earlier this summer, a crew from the Burke, led by Kelsey Abrams, who's our paleo comparator, came and started excavating this hillside. And to make an excavation this large, far greater than a cubic meter, we needed an excavation permit. And to bring in any heavy equipment, we needed an environmental assessment to make sure that we weren't doing harm to some sage grouse, nesting grounds, or something like that, for example. One of the first things that we needed to do, we saw those 2 tracks that led up to the top of this hill. That was Les helping us. We had a big, cigar-shaped sandstone, hard sandstone like this one. Right up there above our locality. Right there where that blue spot is behind Sterling, you see that kind of and you can see the drag marks from Corbin, that's the son, actually hauling that thing. They wrapped a chain around it and they hauled it back out and put it on more level ground so that any excavation wouldn't result in that thing tumbling down and crushing itself. So, Court, pretty good, huh? We were on top of it.
That is not on top of you.
Yeah. So we pulled that thing back, and then with jackhammers, we started to push back that hillside far enough, because a flat vertical surface or a sloping surface like this, you don't want to go in sideways and excavate. You want to go on top of you want to go above the bone level and work your way down. So we had to push things back, bring it down to a level about here with jackhammers and heavy equipment, and then more slowly and delicately start working down till we found the layer that was producing bone. And then when we found that layer, we would excavate left and right to see how the extent of the bone. So I'm a little disoriented because everything's been dug out, but I think the rib was from right here, right, Richard?
Yeah, it's a little
So
lower, I think.
there was a rib bone that was found there. That's likely
it'd be
from
closer to where the generator was, somewhere in there.
right here.
Yeah,
So
that's where it was.
similar in form to something that you would expect for a triceratops, such that, and in close proximity, such that you might think it's from the same individual. So there's hopes that the rest of this hillside will produce other bones, either of the skull, which is over here, or parts of the skeleton. We don't know. And you'll get up here and look at the lithology, and you'll maybe work with Tom on that and figure out the lithology here. But one of the things we suspect from this kind of deposit is that bones are disarticulated and spread more so than we found with the Tyrannosaurus rex, which was in a different kind of deposit. So this site, the By Trike, is right now largely covered. So we've covered most of the bones that were exposed because we want to protect them from the winter weather that's coming.
What bones are those?
There's a lot of different bones, some of which we are not sure about. So as you'll find out in a moment, I'm not the dinosaur expert here. That's Sterling. And we look at bits of Triceratops and we compare them to figures of complete skeletons. Even go into the Garfield Museum and look at the skeletons they have there and try to infer what partial element we're looking at. So far what we found is parts of the frill, brow horns, other parts, there are different elements in the frill. We think we have parts of both of the major elements. Parts of the lower jaw with some teeth. A couple of bones we're not sure, but we think that they're in the skull. And am I missing anything?
Occipital condyle.
Did I not say that? No. Occipital maxilla. Parts of the maxilla, yeah. So the occipital condyle, I was talking about that trailer hitch. That thing stuck out right over there. It was very obvious to identify that. Very distinct looking shape. Big ball, circular ball, like a bocce ball size.